He adores you. He loves you. But he needs to learn to love himself too. Hey everyone, Paul here. I wrote 9 Things to Know If You Love a Guy with Low Self-Esteem. It's been read a couple million times, a few million times on one website. It's a huge article that blew up for me. Now I like to blog in my off time about self-esteem and men insecurities. I live this way, tormented, insecure, life, suffering from, problematic drinking and acting out in other ways. And I just could not accept who I was and love who I was for many, many years. And one of the biggest, worst parts of this was how it affected my relationships with women, with my children even. So, I admit this today. Today I'm sober. I'm doing great, I think, comparably. People rely on me, depend on me. I have many loved ones, repaired relationships, but this was huge for me, okay? There was a lot of women who loved me deeply, who loved me dearly, and I just could not get out of my own way, okay? Carl Jung said something really fascinating and really truthful. The unfaced and unfelt parts of our psyche are the source of all of our neuroses and suffering. What that means is that the stuff that your guy is hiding, that he has buried deep, okay, this hole in his heart and his soul could be a God-shaped hole, could be a hole that he's filling in the shape of other partners, women, or other men, whatever, of money, success, fame, glory, working out, fitnessing, bodybuilding, Instagramming, fashion, whatever he's doing, okay? He has to he keeps running, and he's running himself ragged, trying to be something, trying to, be somebody. He cares so much what other people think. He says he doesn't, but that's all he cares about, isn't it? And it's exhausting. And until he learns to be calm and live and love his own skin, live in his own skin and love his own skin, it ain't gonna work, honey. He's going to keep making big mistakes. He's going to keep screwing up. He's going to keep acting out and he'll keep self-sabotaging. So I don't believe that he does not love you. I think he does love you. I think he adores you. I loved several women deeply, truly. I wanted to. But when I was suffering in this way, when I was so deep in this low self-esteem and this negativity, I just could not get out of my own way. And I'm not saying this to bring pity, to make you feel sorry for him. That's not what this is about. I'm just trying to open your eyes. Maybe it'll help you, okay, to understand that he does feel like shit about it. When you do these dishonorable things, when you treat people poorly, it does not feel good unless he's a psychopath. And then thank God, get the hell away. But if he's not a psychopath, if he's not a sociopath, if he's just suffering or just, immature or just hasn't grown emotionally, maybe since he was a child like me for so long, he's going to hurt you and he's going to hate himself for it. And this creates a cycle of self-destruction and shame where he acts out and, does things like drinking, gambling, making money, careers, like anything he can do to numb himself. And there's a million ways to do that, isn't there? Unhealthy ways. Even some of them society tells us are healthy, right? Trying to be an influencer or making a ton of money and becoming rich and starting a new app, all kinds of flashy stuff, right? He's doing all this to distract himself from the pain that's inside, and you're suffering, the relationship's suffering, and it's not going to go anywhere until he has not just another phase that he has, not just some, I read this article and, you read this thing in Cosmo and you guys had a talk and he's going to do this thing and he's on this 75 hard challenge. No. He needs literally like a spiritual, religious awakening, an experience to say, holy shit, this is who I've been. This is what I've done all my life. Now for me, I'm blessed that I had to get sober, that I dived so much into the alcohol and abusing alcohol to make myself feel better, to make myself feel like somebody, to take this pain away, that it became addictive. And I had to stop. And that was such a big process in my life, 12-step recovery, that it made me wake up to alcohol being but a symptom of something deeper, something more nefarious, which was my insecurities, my self-esteem, the fact that I hadn't grown emotionally since I was a child, and the pain of that and how it hurt other people. And when you go through something as big as sobriety, especially in our culture, how alcohol is revered, you wake up to these things and you dig deep. And he needs to do something. If he's not a problematic drinker, it'd be easier. Please forgive me if he was. I'm saying that because sobriety and 12-step programs, AA, and all this is such massive awakening. But he needs to have some kind of awakening like that. Okay, some kind of spiritual awakening. And there are 12-step programs for other things. I say 12-step because it's so powerful, the process of admitting that you have a problem. And for him, it could be just that he hates himself, right? Maybe that's his problem that he has to admit to and finally come to terms with and decide that he can't do it by himself. He needs help. He needs the power of something greater than himself that says he is pure and loved. And that's God, the universe, Gaia, Buddha, whatever you want to say. Okay, but he needs to have something big like that to wake his ass up. Otherwise, if he can't learn to love himself, he ain't going to be able to love you properly, dear. And you know what? Guys like this can be an emotional up and down, which convinces you that it's love. It can make your emotions go up and down and you think it's something real. But I'm sorry, most of it's fake. It's not true, okay? Just because someone spikes and messes with your emotions in your head, don't convince yourself it's love. That's not love, okay? That's manipulation. And it's obviously codependency, okay? Anyhow, that's all I can say is that until he learns to love himself, he won't love you properly. And he needs to go through some big stuff, some big awakening, okay? Now, this isn't for all guys. This is for the special type of guy. And if this makes sense, then that's who I'm talking about. If it doesn't make sense to you, then maybe your guy's not so bad. Maybe his issues don't apply to you, okay? But if they do, I don't have a lot of great advice for you, okay? It's to be very cautious and know that a big shift has to happen. Change is possible. People do change. Ask any recovering addict. Big change is possible, but it takes humongous undertakings, all right? Not just a promise. Not just, I'll let you go through my phone every night. Don't worry. Okay? Big change needs to happen. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm signing out. Good evening. You see it the way I'm dressed. I have other work, but I'm really getting into this. I get so many questions, and I feel bad, and I feel like I can really speak to this. So I'm happy to try to help. Okay. Good night.